What's up? Welcome back to the podcast. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is the craziest thing. This podcast episode, how this was divinely timed and how we met, blah, 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 is so crazy. So, Makyla and I actually found each other on Instagram. We had a mutual mentor and we were chit-chatting and I was like, "Oh, I love your stuff." And she was like, "Oh, I love your stuff." And I was like, "Oh my God, do you want to be on my podcast?" Because I thought her journey was very interesting. And we get to chit-chatting and we, no crap, went to the same high school. Like we are from the same town. She doesn't currently live in Iowa, but it was just so wild. She was a couple grades older than me. But we did go to a school where there was a lot of kids. So it's kind of hard to know or remember everyone. It's just crazy how this connection came about. I cannot wait for you guys to hear her story. And if you're from our hometown, it's like, oh, a little special treat. Two girls from the same hometown who are utterly obsessed with everything mystical, spiritual, energetics. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So Makyla is a registered nurse, Reiki practitioner, and spiritual mentor who helps women heal from the inside out by bridging the science of the nervous system with the wisdom of energy and intuition. After years of working in Western medicine, Makyla experienced firsthand how traditional approaches often overlook the root causes of chronic stress, anxiety, and disconnection. Her own health struggles and eventual awakening led her to study functional medicine, breathwork, heart brain coherence, and energy healing. Today, she guides clients through transformational journeys to regulate their nervous system, reconnect to their souls, and remember their innate power that they hold to create a healing and alignment in every area of their lives. She is the founder of Namaste Energetics, where she offers Reiki energy work and private mentorship programs that weave together evidence-based practices and spiritual tools. Her mission is to empower women to become the alchemists of their own health, purpose, and embodiment. When she's not supporting clients, you'll find her chasing her two boys, baking bread, and reading a good book, meditating, doing yoga, relaxing at the cabin in northern Minnesota. So she's into all the fun things, all the things. Her story is very cool, and this conversation that we have is very cool, very eye-opening. I hope that you learned something new today and maybe think twice about some of the things that you are currently doing in your life. Enjoy. Welcome to the podcast. This is a very cool episode for me. Before we get into everything, I want to just welcome Makyla onto the show. Fun fact, everyone. So I have goosebumps everywhere. So it is kind of 11:11 when we started recording, and we just realized that we are from the same hometown and kind of found each other on Instagram. So, girl.
It's so crazy to have found each other, like, again, through Instagram. It's wild. We
And
graduated, 2 years apart and
2 years
went to the
apart,
same high
yeah.
school, and just the
From the
synchronicity
same,
is mind-blowing.
yeah, the stuff that we have talked about beforehand, you guys would be like, what the fuck? We won't bore you with that, but I want to welcome her on to talk about all the cool. So, of course, when I find people on Instagram, women on Instagram that I really just like vibe with and I love their stuff, it is so fun connecting to someone that, shares similar interests in things, and especially when it comes to all the woo-woo. So, speaking of that, what is your sun, moon, and rising and human design types, just so we can get a little bit of, a vibe for you?
Well, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I'm so excited to be here. So I am a Leo sun, a rising Aquarius, and a Cancer moon.
Well, happy birthday soon.
Yeah, so that's coming up.
It's coming up. What about your human design type?
So I am a 5-2 generator.
Oh yeah. We love that. We love our
Generator.
generators. You're here to, yeah, with all the energies.
All the energy, but it has to be the right energy. Like it has
Yes.
to be the right thing. And I didn't know that was a thing until right sometime within the last year. I kind of went more into my human design. And it's just been so interesting. So I'm like, that's why I like can't do some things. It's because it doesn't align. Like I have no fuel in the fire to do the things that I don't want to do.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. We could talk for days on that. I'm like, but I am so curious about, well, all the things. I love how, you're a nurse and then you have, gone into more holistic healing. And I do want to talk a majority about that. But I want you to share how you kind of got there, like how, how your nurse self had their spiritual awakening and what all unfolded for you there.
Oh my gosh, I could talk for just like hours about this because it's just wild. And I feel like I love listening to other people's stories too, because it's
Hmm.
like everybody kind of has this unfolding that you can't predict. So I didn't even like want to be a nurse. I want to be a pharmacist. And then that kind of fell apart. I ended up in nursing school, graduated, worked as a nurse. I worked in pediatrics and home care and pain management, like all these things. And then I had my second son in 2021. And that would have been the year I turned 30. So we're talking like Saturn return energy too. So I had him, and then after I had him, I gained 30 pounds. So like I have baby weight, and then we pack another 30 pounds on. And I was like, this isn't right. So I go to the doctor because that's what the nurse does, right? The nurse, you go to the doctor and you do whatever the doctor says. So I asked for
Hmm.
some labs to be drawn, and they didn't want to draw any labs, but they did offer to. They said, well, if you have regular periods, then your hormones are fine. But you can talk to one of our dietitians if you want. I was like, no, I'm good. Thanks. So then my husband had showed me a reel online of a guy talking about all these, about thyroid issues and stomach issues and nutrient deficiencies and kind of getting more into just like functional and holistic and alternative kind of things that I, up until that point, had thought were just unfounded. Like, there's no
Hmm.
way you can cure somebody's stomach issues with a vitamin. Like, what are you, stupid? Because they don't teach you any of this stuff in nursing school. It's not a thing. Like, they're like, or you could do like, and alternative therapies, right? Like, and alternative therapy, but they don't ever talk to you about alternative therapies. It's kind of this cliff note that they don't ever go into or talk about. So I decided to start taking these vitamins and my stomach problems went away. And then I started doing breath work, which gave me tons more energy and helped with my fatigue. And I was like, oh my God, like there's actually stuff that's not medicine that works. And these doctors have lost their minds. Like they have no idea. They have no idea. All they know are pills.
Hmm.
Like that's it. And the way to fuel your body, like the way that I was always taught was like, if you need to lose weight, you need to cut calories, right? And it's like, well, then you're starving your body. Like knowing what I know now, I'm like, that is the entirely wrong approach to give your body less nutrients and then it should do more of what it's supposed to. It's like that doesn't even make sense. So I started doing these like little things. So I don't know, lost like 30 or 35 pounds and I was feeling so much better. And I'm like, this is great. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to help people like heal their bodies naturally. And in the meantime, I was like, I can't work in Western medicine anymore because I don't align with anything that they're teaching.
Hmm.
It's gotten so backwards and we're giving people advice that's like actually contraindicating the actual effects that they want to have. And once I realized that, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to open my own IV hydration company. So go to people's houses, do vitamins, because I'm still using my nursing license. Like, this is great. So I opened that, started doing that, and I'm like, and I'll add in wellness coaching. Well, in the meantime, I'd listen to a podcast, and the gal started talking about spirituality. And I was like, I don't know, is there like something to this whole thing? I didn't identify with any like religious groups at all. I was,
Hmm.
baptized, confirmed, like did all those things when I was younger, and then it did not feel good in my body. So I was just like, I don't even know if there is I don't know if there's God. I don't know. Maybe I just die and then I die. That's it. So this gal was talking about spirituality, and she said, if you want to go with the most wild and crazy woo-woo book there is, it's Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza.
Oh, geez, girl.
And I was like, I don't toe dip. I'm not a toe dipper, right? Like, let's do it. So I jump into Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza, and it rocked my world because you have this doctor that was talking about the science of manifestation, the science of your chakras and your energy field. And I was like, holy shit. I'm like, this, right? Like literally telling me, like, just full body chills because it's so wild. Nobody talks about any of that in school. And you, like me, like people talked about chakras or Reiki or yoga or anything like that. I thought they were out of their minds.
Hmm.
Like I thought they were crazy. And it was because I was so indoctrinated into the system of just pills and prescriptions and surgery that nothing else was ever explained or taught. And then I like start learning more about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So then it was like this whole can of worms for me. I realized that we have an energy field for, energy is real and frequencies and chakras, which then opens up. Well, if we're more energetic and everything is frequency, then why wouldn't we be able to connect with beings that are up another frequency? Why wouldn't we be able to have these, claircognizance, clairvoyance, like, why wouldn't we be able to have these things? If Reiki is real and we're tapping into divine source, why wouldn't I be able to talk to my angels, right? Like, it was just like, then I find out that my north node, which I'm still like in the process, but my north node is actually in my 12th house.
Oh, girl. That's a whole, yeah, like you're meant for all of this.
Right. And so I did like some astrology readings, and she's like I'm like, well, what should I do? Because I've heard she, can kind of like direct people, like you would be good at Akashic records and you would be good at astrology. I'm
Hmm.
like, look at my chart, what would I be good at? And she's like, I also have, I don't know what the sign is, but it's a circle with an X in it.
I'm not
That's
clicking
also
noise.
in my 12th house. And this is like a really in-depth astrology chart. I can't remember
Yeah,
what
it
the
might
name
be
of it
like an
is.
asteroid or something too.
Yeah, and she was like, because that's also in your 12th house, it means you can do anything you want in spirituality. You could be a medium or channeling or astrology or like anything. And I'm like, I was asleep until a year ago. I
You're
didn't
like, this
even
is
know
too
anything.
much.
I'm like, well, where do I even start? So now I'm here, and now I'm like, the world is my oyster. Like, there's just
Oh my
so
God.
much. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. And I love how I laugh because I have also read Becoming Supernatural, and it's like a heavy, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, I always think like it's a heavy read, not like in a sadness, but it's just so
No,
like full of information.
it's so sciency, and for
Yeah.
me, like I needed that science to be able to step into this realm, right? Because for me, it was like, and again, like looking at my astrology chart, I've been told like there is so much like analytical, logical, like sciency type energy in my chart that that's really going to make
Hmm.
sense to me. So it was like I didn't kind of, right, like believe in this stuff because there
Hmm.
wasn't, show me the science. Can you show me? Right? Like show me you're talking to your spirit guides. Show me you're channeling the Pleiadians. You can't show
Where's
that,
the
right?
proof? Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, like the lack of physicality of it. And then it's like, and then again, I'm like looking, like reading that book, and I'm like, oh, there is science. There is science that backs it up. It's just nobody talks about it. Or at
Gosh.
least mainstream doesn't talk about it. So
Yeah.
that was kind of like my like kind of permission slip, I guess, to look more into this realm of everything, literally everything that is, right? Like,
Yeah. And that is a read that if you need the science and you need the facts, freaking get that book or try to listen to the audiobook or something because it took me honestly a couple times to read it because I was like I like the facts, but I was already bought in. I was already
And
in
I
the
will be,
group, but
see, and I'll be totally honest, I haven't even finished the book because I
it's,
thought, I think I'm 60% of the way through, and then I was like, there's 75 squirrels now. Like, right? Now I
like,
need to learn all of these other things. I don't have time to finish the book. I know the gist of it.
yeah, like where do you go from here? And then
Yeah.
what made you want to start your own business as well? I mean, the IV thing, I love that because it's using I would like to say your muggle job.
Literally, yes, it's my muggle job. I still do my muggle job, and I like being able to help people in that way. But then I added coaching, like a wellness coaching with all the information that I'd learned. And then once I started getting into spirituality, and I was like, this is, I just kind of branded different on Instagram. And then I was like, I need to make a new website because this is just totally different. They're two different demographics
Yeah.
of people. There's, right, like there's people that want IVs and believe in alternative medicine, and then there's people that believe you can channel galactic beings, right? Like those aren't necessarily going to be the same group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I couldn't share all of my like woo-woo stuff in that brand of IV therapy
I
that I
get
had kind
that.
of built. So yeah, I just built my Instagram, right? Namaste energetics.
Love
And
it.
I just built that, literally just built that website maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago because I was like, it's too hard. Like I don't feel like it's cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
And it needed its own thing because I really anticipate that like my energy spirituality business is going to continue to grow and evolve. And the
Mm-hmm.
IV business is just going to be the IV business.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean that's like kind of not stagnant, but yeah, that kind of it is what it is. But the
Yeah,
beauty with your spirituality and your business in that sense is, yeah, who knows what it's going to become.
I know. I'm like, it's its own little like beast kind of. You're like, ooh, what are you gonna turn into? Just like
I
birth,
know it's
right?
like,
You just like birth
yeah,
another little
oh,
human
a
and
little
it's gonna
baby,
grow
yeah, I
up.
know.
Yeah. It's an infant and still feeding it bottles.
That's how I feel about my business too. It's like, okay, I've got my two kids, and then I also have this little baby. Like
Yeah.
she's a little bit older now, but she's still a little
Yeah.
baby. Like,
Right.
and you've got to
Yours
just,
is probably a toddler.
yeah, a little bit of a toddler. Yeah,
Mine's still swaddled.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What, I guess, what was some of your favorite or like most mind-blowing experiences when it comes to like Reiki or any readings you had like when you were going through your spiritual awakening?
Cool. So I had a Thai massage with Reiki. That was my first like experience with like any kind of energy work. And she was kind of like, they're telling me this. Oh, they're telling me this. And I was like, who's telling you what?
What?
Yeah, just kind of these little messages, and we got done, and she's like, wow. I'm like, what? And she's like, do you feel that? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't feel shit. She's like, it's like you're like just like swirling in a cloud of energy. Like I had never had energy work done. So she's like, oh, it's just your energy is just all over the place and it's all swirling. You feel that, right? And I was like, yeah. I didn't, but it was just a whole different, being my first experience. And I was like, okay. I would say the the readings that have really been the most impactful for me have really been astrology. And I think some of it also goes back to that like more sciencey kind of stuff. There's an astrologer that I've worked with, and she worked with a psychic medium for a while. So she
Hmm.
has astrology, but she also has some more intuitive mediumship things kind of attached to her astrology readings because she worked with a medium for 5 years when she did it, like kind of at the beginning of when she started. So, finding out that my North Node was in my 12th house. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. But then getting more into it, right? Like, your gifts were on hold until the age of Aquarius. Like, you're right on track, right? For where you're supposed to be. And I'm like, okay. And I asked about, my relationships with my children, right? Why do I feel this? And why do I feel this? And
Hmm.
she's like, well, this one was a parent in the past life. That's why you have this kind of struggle back and forth with telling what to do. And I'm like, well, why do
Mm-hmm.
I feel, why do I feel like this way? And she's like, well, it looks like this child was very traumatic, but also like a love of your life kind of relationship. And that would have been like my second child. So in a past life, but then the reason everything kind of happened, right? My Saturn return, having this second child who was very traumatic for me in a past life triggered my soul and into remembering these past lives, which literally triggered my spiritual awakening. So it was like, ooh, that. And I I feel called to share this. I don't know why I didn't know. So my mom passed away in April of this year.
Oh no, I'm
And
sorry to hear that.
thank you. So she passed away, and she had been very sick and she lived in a nursing home, but it was kind of one of those things where she ended up in the hospital and they were like, she's going to be fine. We're just going to give her some antibiotics. And then, like, 2 hours later, they're like, oh, she's not going to make it. So I left my work. I'm tying this back in. So I leave work. I'm going down to see her before she passes away. And I'm driving and I have this, and I'm like, it's very hard. It has been for me to differentiate your divine guidance and your ego brain because we listen so much to our ego. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
driving, and as I'm driving, I'm like, this is supposed to happen. This has to happen now. And then I'm like telling myself, I'm like, why? Like, I'm like, stop. Like, stop. Like, why would you say that? Like, why would you think that? Why would you allow your brain to think that? So she passed away that evening. All kinds of other like rainbows, angel numbers, car electronics shut off on the way down, like just wild stuff. She passed away at 11:11,
Shit.
and which is also my niece's birth time, right? Like just so much. You're like, this is
Like,
just,
ooh,
yeah,
goosebumps. What an excellent birth time. Wow.
right? I know. I'm like, I gotta look at her chart. There's
Yeah, she's gonna do
some,
some big things, I feel.
right? So I'm like, okay. So this happens, she transitions, I ask for signs, I get signs, and then the next week, I think it was, I had another astrology reading with this gal. And I hadn't said anything to anybody at this point because I'm like, this just sounds bananas to anybody that's
Mm-hmm.
not a little bit woo-woo. So I'm telling her what happened. And she's like, your birth chart 100% like backs that up. Like this had to happen like in this time because my moon is tied to my south node. And
Mm.
my mom, your moon can also represent your mom. So if my mother is no longer here on planet Earth, my energetic and emotional ties to her are then in the spirit realm, and she's able to help guide me from the other side. So I
Mhm.
had that like clear cognizant kind of download on the way to like my mother passing away, and it just sounded so wild to me. And I was like, is this like what is happening? So then I was kind of able to meet with this astrologer and we looked at my birth chart and she was like, wow, like there's so much to unpack here. So that was probably astrology has just been the most impactful for me because it's been able to validate some of these experiences that I've had that I haven't really been able to explain or like necessarily tell to anybody because what muggle are you going to tell that you thought that your mother was supposed to pass on to the other side and they're going to be like, yeah,
Oh
it
my
sounds
gosh.
it
Yes.
sounds wild. So to have that and then be able to have somebody look at my birth chart and be like, yes, like the way that your timeline is unfolding, like she needs to be there to help guide you because your energy was so strongly attached to hers. And I also, she said, mother's my mother's lineage, so the
Mm-hmm.
female lineage, has all been very psychic, but none of
Mm-hmm.
them developed these skills. So she's like, you're here to break up this generational trauma that's been lining up on your mother's side, and you couldn't do it with her here. She had to be on the other side to help you do it
Yeah.
from spirit instead of 3D. I was like,
That's, oh my gosh, that's really powerful.
yeah. So like, and that's pretty, like, I've done some healings that have been really, but like
Yeah.
astrology, because it's just there's just so much to unpack there, and it's been the most impactful for me.
I totally agree. I think that astrology and human design are
Mhm.
so cool, and you could learn about it forever. It's like one of those things you could dig deeper and deeper and deeper.
Mhm. And you never know everything, right? Like
No,
there's
you'll
still
never know
something,
everything.
and the planets are always moving too. So like these new transitions and I don't know any, but like the sextiles, like just the way that the planets are meeting up, like means something different. And it's like, I'm like, ooh. Then I'm like, should I do more into astrology? But it's,
It's not, I don't know. Maybe you should follow those breadcrumbs because, well, right now we know as we record this, I
Mhm,
don't know, probably when it comes out too, Mercury's in retrograde.
mhm,
So everyone brace yourself. No. But yeah, the current transits and all the shit popping off this year
mhm.
with, the outer planets moving, and that's really affecting us collectively in a good way.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about you, but I honestly have very like good thoughts and feelings towards the future. Like the more people you talk to like us and like just people taking their own power back and really getting into the energetics, and that really ties into like how talk about western medicine, just it takes your power away from you.
That's one of my biggest complaints with Western medicine. It's like you go to the doctor and it's just like, this is wrong with you. You can't fix it. It's like, well, you weren't born with it. If it was fundamentally wrong, there's such a small percentage of disease that is actually genetically linked that you're born with. The
Mm-hmm.
rest of it it's emotional, it's energetic, or it's nutritional. Like if you can be very spiritual, but if you're going to go to eat McDonald's every day, like the energetics of putting McDonald's into your body every day, like isn't going to have a good outcome, right? So I'm like, it's either energetic because energy, emotion, spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
or it's nutritional. Like usually it's one of two things. But to go to the doctor and have them dole out a diagnosis and then tell you that you need a pill, it's like, well, no. Like they take all of your power away because then you identify with it. I have this. And it's like, no, you don't have shit. What you need to do is like work on X, Y, and Z. It's like, but they don't teach that. That's the problem. Doctors are not required to have any nutritional training. Zero. Some of them graduate and they don't have one nutrition course. How?
That's wild.
That's the fundamentals of how your body works. Raw materials.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? So then, and I think part of it too is also this kind of like, there's like this timeline kind of shift right now too, where you have these. So I also kind of follow Schumann resonance too, and astrology and like all these things. But it's kind of like there are kind of two groups of people right now, kind of
Mm-hmm.
right, like maybe like a lower frequency focusing on lots of like negative and fear based, and then there's also kind of another timeline right now, right? And it's not necessarily that one is better than the other, it just is what it is. There's just two, and one that's maybe more positively focused that isn't so fear based, because it's like knowing everything that I know now, my fear is like so much less, because it's like, oh, like I know I know that I can control my body and what comes into my life, and I'm gonna die eventually, and I'm gonna go meet some really cool people and the spirits, right? Like I'm gonna be vibing. Like it's just not gonna be, what is there to be scared of?
Yeah, I agree. That's beautifully spoke because once you have, a really good belief in this and, that there is a higher power, God's source, and it's not somebody who's judging you or, when you get into religions and it's all like the crazy shit. Yeah. When you look at that from a different lens, it's like, oh my gosh. And then like learning, you're always being guided and you've got your spirit guide team and you're never really truly alone.
No, you can't like you aren't alone. And it's like every decision that you make is just a learning opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a learning opportunity and you can choose to follow your intuition and your higher self, or maybe you follow your ego on accident and then you're redirected, right? It's like you're going to keep getting redirected to where you should be.
Mm-hmm.
If you go with your ego brain, it's not like your spirit guides are going to be like, it's hopeless. You can't do anything. They're going to, right? They're going to be like, it's like your Jeep, right? It's like Siri or like your
Yeah.
GPS, right? It's going to be like, make a U-turn. Nope, make a U-turn,
Yeah.
right?
And
Like,
that's sometimes when like shit falls apart in your life, or you lose that job, or you have to move, or something happens, or relationships, fizzle out. That all happens for a reason, and you can't see it in the present moment. And it's okay to have feelings and be upset and
oh yeah.
be a human. But then you can look back and be like, oh shit, that makes sense. It was
Yeah,
all for my greater good.
yeah, I had a job that I worked for a pain clinic. Oh my God, did I loved this job. My boss was going to retire. They had asked me if I wanted to take her job. Yes, this would have been 2023. I was like, yep, she was going to retire later in 2023. So I was going to take over her job then. And they had some managerial shifts, and it turned into a hot dumpster fire. Like, it got bad fast. And I was sobbing and crying like every day because I did not want to leave this job because I loved it so much. It was like that was probably my like dark night of the soul time because I was like, what am
Mm-hmm.
I doing? Like, what am I doing here? But when I look back on it now, it's like I can't even be mad about it because that job falling apart is what kicked me to open my own business, which is what led me to meeting this chiropractor, which led me to energetics, which led me to Joe Dispenza, which led me to like all of this. So it just like it all fell into place the way it was supposed to, but like being in it, the emotions were just intense.
Oh, I can only imagine. Shit. Shit happens for a reason, but
It does. And I'm a yoga teacher. I'm almost done with my yoga teacher training. And of course, right, like divinely guided, we were assigned each a yama or niyama to do a report on. And
mm-hmm.
it ended up being divine surrender, which is that
Ooh.
letting go of needing to have, and think it's so important. I feel like that's like the thing that if most people could grasp, and myself included, that things just flow so much easier. So it's like we want that outcome, but it's like, but what if that wasn't the outcome? The outcome that God, source, divine, that our soul has planned for us is so much greater than our brains could even comprehend. If we would let go of what our ego brain thinks that it wants, there's something so much greater for us. But we have to be able to let go of what our physical 3D ego brain wants in order to follow the breadcrumbs to get to that bigger picture, that bigger thing that's out there for us. So it's like that, like divine surrender, like just being willing to let go and flow is like, I struggle with it. That's like the thing that I'm like trying it. And it's like, it just has the essence of trust, right? Like
Yes.
I just trust. I trust that whatever is flowing in is supposed to be. And I trust that whoever I meet on Instagram, I'm supposed to be meeting, right? Like,
I totally feel that too, and I would guarantee that people listening also feel the same way. I believe that, in our society, it's so, you know, kind of generator, not to like point fingers, but more generator focused
mhm,
in a way where we're like using our energy all the time.
mhm.
And I feel like there's a lot of women that just feel the need that they need to control things, and they're like more in their masculine a lot of the
Yeah,
time. Shit.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like prime example here.
I did a quantum energy healing, and she was like, I have neck pain on my right side. And she's like, it's because you're pulling so much over to the masculine side that she's like, your masculine field is like giant. And she's like, your feminine field is like, baby. Because I don't operate from that energy because I've been so disconnected from it with this, like, I have to do this, I have to push, I have to, right, we got to keep going, we got to do that. And it's like, yeah, I'm a generator, but it, you still have to be a generator from like your divine feminine, right? From like what feels good. Can I sit outside underneath a tree while I tap into my intuition and feel what needs to come through for a post, right? Instead of like this divine like I have to post this because I have to get, likes and followers. Like it's just such a different energy behind that. And that's
Oh
like
my gosh,
that's
yeah.
my thing right now is I'm really trying to just tap into more of that, like, can I just allow? Can I flow? Can I operate more from my divine feminine instead of this divine masculine where I feel like I always have to push? Because when I'm pushing,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't feel good, right? You feel exhausted, you feel frustrated because nothing's working, and it's like, my spirit guides are like, no shit, right? Like, no shit, nothing's working. It's because you're not listening. Because you're not listening. You're not following what feels good to to yourself. And I really like Bashar, if anybody likes channeling, just like
Yeah.
YouTube, because the message is always, he's always like, it's the formula. Follow whatever excites you and take it as far as you can take it until something else excites you more. It's just that excitement. Like that excitement is your soul's way of telling you, like, yeah. So again, like for me, like I'm probably going to pick up an astrology book because I don't know, I'm really excited about astrology and it seems to resonate with me right now. I don't
I
know,
love that. Yeah,
right?
like
Like
who knows where
maybe,
it's gonna go?
yeah, maybe I pick up a book or I follow somebody else on Instagram, right? Like it doesn't need to be that that's the thing. But maybe you get into astrology because it's going to lead you to that book. That's going to lead you to that person that then you guys are going to have an idea and, make this course together, right? Like the astrology might not be the thing, but it might lead you in the
Mm-hmm.
right direction to meet that person. But it's being able to follow those little nudges that if you force so much from masculine, you miss them. And it
Oh
feels
my
so
gosh, yeah.
inauthentic.
Yes. I feel like we could talk about that for
Days,
hours, days, weeks, months. Chill the fuck out, everyone.
right? It is, but we're kind of like, right? We like kind of grow up in that. I feel
Oh my
like.
gosh, yes, yes. I feel like we are a big generation to like break a lot of that trauma and actually heal shit. I saw someone my age that posted something the other day. She was like, like our parents are over here, just like we're over here, like healing all of their shit.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. We're healing all of this shit. That we didn't, right? We didn't, it's like, what did I mean, I think I can put, like, can I phone in my spirit guides and ask for generational wealth instead of generational trauma? Like, that would be great.
I know, right? But it makes me feel also so grateful knowing that like our kids and the generations after that, it's going to be so different.
Oh, and the way that, like, they're gonna see that. Like, this gal, I do IVs at her office. She had this book, and it was my little energy book, Chakra. So, like, I'm reading a bedtime book with my 7-year-old and my 3-year-old about chakras because I want them to know at such a young age that like energy is real. Your hearts are
Hmm.
magnets. We pull in more of what we focus on. So to be able to like, how much trouble could that have saved us knowing that when we were 6 years old? Or having a parent to remind us of that. Not that, right? Not that there's anything wrong with their parents. But they didn't
No.
know. So it's like if we know, like how much could we save our children and help them figure out what they're supposed to do in life by just tapping in. Like
Yes.
that would have saved me so much.
And I feel like I just learning the astrology charts of like your kids and their
Hmm.
human design and stuff like that, that just makes like everything makes more sense to me when I look at that. My kids are both 1-3 profiles in human design. So that means they are meant to like fuck around and find out. They are meant to like trial and error. And I have to, yeah, I have to remember that because I'll get into, mom mode sometimes to be like, why are you doing, like, I told you not to do that again. Like, don't sit on the couch like that. You're going to fall off. And my son, yeah, like he does it again, falls off the couch. Then
You're
it's
like,
like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that.
right? Yeah, I haven't actually, I didn't ever think to look at their human design. I need to do that.
You
Look at
should.
theirs. My 7-year-old, he is a Leo sun and a Leo moon. Yeah. So we're like, right, like big emotions. And then I'm like, so whenever he has these big emotions, I'm like, and I'm trying to like tell my husband more of it, who's just very muddled, which is totally fine. And
That's
I'm like
okay.
telling him like little things here and there, and he's like, what? And then I'm like, let me explain to you a little bit more. I'm trying to like tiptoe him into it. Every once in a while I go too far, and then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll
I've
I'll
lost him.
revisit. I'll revisit. Yeah, where he's like, it's like it might actually be time for a divorce now because you have absolutely lost your mind. And I'm like, we'll revisit the evolution of Sasquatch later. He's like, okay, but trying to explain to him that like Leo sun, Leo moon, like he's
That's big.
gonna he's gonna have these big emotions. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just is what it is. Like
Yeah.
we don't need to shut him down, but like you can have these big emotions, but like can go like calm down and then we can talk about it. Because like he's gonna
Yeah.
have big feelings, right? But like
Yes.
knowing that has been my 3-year-old. I mean, he's still little, so I'm like, I don't know what to do with you yet. But
I
that's been
get that. Yeah.
specifically helpful for at least just knowing that about my 7-year-old. I'm like, oh, okay, this makes
No,
sense.
check out their human design and you will go down a whole nother freaking like can of worms. And
Yeah,
I'm sorry. We're gonna waste hours of your life. No, I'm just kidding. It's not
literally.
wasteful. It's so no. It's to me, it's like, okay, it's I know what everybody in my family, their energy type is, and if they're an emotional authority or not. Just so I'm like, shit, this makes sense how we operated in like
Mhm.
in the family I came from too. I know all their shit now too. So,
You're like, I
yeah.
know you. You don't even know, but I know you.
I know, I know some crazy stuff about you now. Thanks for giving me, I'm the girl that's always going to be like, what's your birth,
What
date,
time were you born?
time, what time were you born, what city and the country, please?
I messaged my mother-in-law. I was like, what time was, my husband born? She's like, I'll have
Yeah,
to look. Because then I had to plug him into my astrology app because I'm like,
what the?
I need to look this shithead up. What's he got going on here?
Yeah, like, what's going on with you right now?
Well,
No, I love that.
it's so good. So I love even like, so I made just like a free guide that's on my Instagram. And what
Mm-hmm.
I have links to like, because like anybody that I feel like is going through like a spiritual awakening, I'm like, these are the things. Like, look, I always like, I love looking at love languages, your Enneagram, your human design, and your astrology, because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, then to even like just look at your love languages, like, how do you give and receive love? Like, they're two totally different things. And they can change and
Yes.
evolve over time, but it's like, I made my husband take it and then I took it. And it was like, I want words of affirmation. I want you to tell me I'm doing a good job. And he's like, seriously? I'm like, apparently, like that's what the test said. But it's good to know because then you're like how I give and how I receive love are different, and how he gives and receives love are different. Like that's such helpful information to have in your back pocket.
It
Like
truly is. It's going to save you like a headache,
banging your head against the wall.
frustration.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like all these tools. I just love all these tools. And I even looked at the gene keys. That's
Oh, yeah,
like
that's a whole nother fucking mess of
that's
stuff.
yeah, that was, but it was still so fascinating. And then it's like
It is so
all these things
fascinating.
to like help you learn you. Like you're reading about you and you're like, makes sense.
Oh
Oh my
my gosh.
gosh, like that's
Yes.
spot on. And it's like again,
Yes.
this like well again my astrology chart, right? She's like, I'm gonna guess you didn't really identify with religion. And I'm like, oh, wait, like what do you see over there?
What do
She's
you,
like,
yeah, what are you looking at?
yeah, she's like, you have a religious wound. So like I right was probably hung for being a witch in a past life.
I
Like,
think all of us were.
yeah. Every one of us that's in this space. We were at some point hung for being a witch. But
I feel like, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a
she's
whole,
like, yeah, like you have this giant wound. And it's like, that's really why I didn't identify with religion. Like, why it was so off putting to me. It's like, yeah,
mm-hmm.
I carried that information down in my DNA, right? I didn't know why.
Exactly.
I didn't know why I felt that way. But then you learn that and it's like, tell me more about me, please, right? Like, look at my chart, look at
Yes.
my human design. And then all the pieces
Yeah.
just fit together. You can, right? Flow a little bit easier.
It's all divinely guided and chosen. It's all, your soul was
Hmm.
like, okay, this is what I need in this lifetime, and we're going to learn this,
Yep.
and we'll see what happens.
I know. Yeah. And I was even just learning more about galactic stuff yesterday and just that whole kind of evolution of the galaxies and all these different things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like there was so much, right? We've incarnated hundreds and hundreds of times, thousands of times.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we don't even remember some of these things that happened, but like Atlantis or Lemuria, like we have we hold the DNA of like these different traumatic events that happened and we don't even remember it, but our bodies do.
Yeah.
So it's like,
This energetics is huge.
yeah, and we don't again, it's just like that's the stuff that's like not talked about. It's like, well, what's the block there? And then it's like, it might not even be something that happened to you in this lifetime. You have a visibility wound and you can't, right? You're scared of speaking on stage because right, you got found out in a past life and you got hung for being a witch. So now you're like, nobody can see me because if they don't see me, they won't know I'm a witch. Right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not even from this lifetime. So to come to
Yeah.
that realization is just like there's so much that's affecting us that we don't even know.
And to heal those things is
Yeah.
incredible. Just start, I mean, and it's not something, it's a journey. It's not something that's all gonna, poof, get better overnight. Trust
No.
me.
You're not like, I arrived, I'm healed, I'm good. It's like, no.
Sometimes you're like, I wish.
Yeah, right? But then it's like every time you learn something, it for me it's like, no, it's just like another tool in my toolbox because like I healed like this came up for me and I was able to heal this and this is how I healed it. So now if there's a client or a friend or a family member that has something going on, it's like, have you ever thought about trying this? Like, have you ever thought about
Mm-hmm.
this? Maybe that's something to look into.
Exactly.
More tools.
Right. Have we talked about Reiki yet? Not really. I don't think so.
I don't think
I
so.
was like, no, I do want you to touch on that just a little bit before we have to go. But when did you get started with that?
So I'm Reiki. So I've done my second Reiki certification. So I'll do my third one next in September, actually.
Oh, nice.
So again, I started that journey kind of at the beginning of this year. I literally had a friend that was like, I'm gonna do Reiki. You want to come do a Reiki training with me? And I was like, sure, let's let's go do it. Um, so it's just this, right? Like you're making a divine connection and then allowing energy to flow through you. I think one of the really big misconceptions is that healers, like, we don't heal. We allow the space for other people to heal. Like, we hold a space,
Mm-hmm.
we help guide energy, but the real healing is up to the person that wants to be healed. Are you ready to be healed? Are you ready to let that go? So it was fascinating for me to learn about Reiki and then especially coming from like being so not spiritual to then and I kind of started learning Reiki just after I had started reading that Joe Dispenza book and then it was like, okay. Right? Like
Yeah.
everything just kind of snowballed and unfolded in divine time, but being able to kind of hold that space for people to allow them to let go of their old energy, their old stories, and be able to allow new energy to come in is like, it's just incredible. Even like me, I love to go whenever I have Reiki done, I feel so much more peaceful, so much more
Mm-hmm.
calm. I feel so much more connected. And I get a lot. I'm very active in my dreams. My
Mm.
dreams right after I get Reiki done are just, they're so vivid. My energy is just so open. Like everything's been cleared. Like I have this
Yeah.
just new energy and it's just so wonderful. I had never had Reiki done and now I'm like, I get it all the time because it opens you up. It just allows you to be clear. So you can, right? You can manifest more. You can see things clearly, connect to your intuition. It's just,
I'm like, now I need to get a session done.
You're like, dang it, now I need Reiki.
Like it's about time. No, that's like while you're talking about that in my head, I'm like, someday a world where like Reiki is just like
A
the
thing.
norm, and then people, children are learning about in school, like this is your astrology and this is your, like, I want Hogwarts fucking everywhere, but it's going to be astrology, human design, love
Yes.
languages, all this kind of like all this other stuff that we don't learn that we should learn.
Right? Like manifestation, like it's not woo, like
Mm-hmm.
manifestation is a real thing. And
Yeah.
like just,
Your
right?
thoughts create your
Energy,
reality.
so much. Your perception creates it,
Yeah.
right? Like just, we could just,
So much
well,
good.
yeah, we'll just have to put up a Hogwarts.
Follow along for 5 to 10 years now when we
Yeah.
figure that out. We said it first here, now we projected it in the universe, so
Okay. So either we're going to do it or somebody else is going to do that because, God,
I
that
think
wouldn't
we
that
have
be
to do like a
great?
Midwest Hogwarts.
Yes. Get on the train, platform 9 3/4,
Yeah. There we
platform
go.
111.
Here, oh my gosh, yes. Okay. We are going to manifest that someday. Lastly, before we go, I want you to let everybody know like ways to work with you. And then I'm going to put all of your Instagram and website and all that good stuff in the show notes too. So,
Sweet. So I do private Reiki sessions and also private coaching. My real aim for like that coaching kind of mentoring is to help other women kind of wake up and like align, kind of be able to tap more into who they are and kind of get rid of the noise and the bullshit. So kind of that like spiritual awakening journey, kind of somebody like walk hand in
mhm.
hand. I just remember I was online and I was like, I just like I'm starting to learn this stuff, but like there's so much. Where do I start? Who, like, I didn't see anybody like that. And I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. Like, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
I need to help lead people like through their spiritual awakening. Like, right, these tools, how to meditate. You know how many people I talk to and they're like, I can't meditate. I'm like, bullshit.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
I
You
was like, yes,
just
you can.
don't know how. Like, you don't know how, right? So it's like
Yeah.
those kinds of things. Like, let me walk you through your spiritual awakening and teach you how to tap more into who you truly are and get rid of all this like noise and bullshit that we've acquired.
Oh my
So yeah,
gosh, yeah.
Reiki sessions and mentoring.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
You are so
And
welcome. Thanks so much for having
it's
me
a
on. It was so fun.
small world.
Literally. We'll have to meet up for lunch when I'm back home sometime.
Oh my gosh, yes, that would be so fun. Yes, like I said, I'm going to leave all of her stuff in the show notes and we will talk to you all soon. Thank you so much.